All right, welcome to the first ever video on my YouTube channel for jsullivangolf. So today is going to be a speed test session. There is a big difference between a speed training session and a speed test. So I'll talk about that more in future posts and videos, but today is a speed test. This is going to be broken down into two specific sections. The first 2.5 to 3 minutes is going to be essentially how I prime myself for the test. So using the iron whip from Mach3 Speed Training and also the jet stick, I'll walk through a few different drills. I'll do voiceover for those to let you know what I'm going through, what's going on mentally when I'm working on those drills. And then the last, 20 minutes or so is going to be the test itself. So the structure of the test, how I approach the test, I'll actually talk through that on screen. So that's what you'll see. So thank you for being here. Let's jump right into the speed test, and I hope you like this. So if you do, please share it, please subscribe. I have essentially nobody on YouTube right now because this is just starting. So don't ask you guys to share a lot on Instagram, but would really appreciate it if you could share this. And I hope you enjoy. All right, so as we jump in, what you wouldn't have seen is my kind of general normal warm-up so far. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know what that looks like, a number of different banded stretches. So with the band that goes in the iron whip and also kind of a hip circle stretching band. Do a lot of that with some kind of jumping here and there to get my body primed to start these drills. So what you're seeing now is the iron whip. I go through a few different drills here with the iron whip. Number one is I'm taking it roughly to 9 o'clock and then bringing it through to about rib high, really just kind of priming my system and getting that speed through impact. The next drill that I go through is one that is essentially just trying to help me slam on the brakes. So really, again, generating force, allowing me to apply that braking force to create speed that will then take all the way through impact. And then the third drill that you're going to see is essentially taking all the way through, trying to create all of that speed out in front to really prime ourselves for the next step. From there, you'll see me pick up the jet stick. So the jet stick is the kind of top end speed tool that we use with Mach3. The jet stick is essentially almost always swung at 100% effort. So there's a few different drills that we'll go through here. The first one is called two-way speed. This is really just going to kind of prime my core, hands, wrists, getting the movements kind of ready to go as we build up in length. The next one that you'll see is backswing throw. So a lot of times you'll see speed training, people try to take it back really slow and then whip it through. But what Mach3 and what most speed coaches will tell you now is that creating speed on the way back is almost just as important as creating it on the way through. So that gets us started here. From then, we're going to do backswing, throw, and go. So again, whipping it back and then taking that momentum and going right to an aggressive follow through and finish. From there, we are going to do what we call front end speed. That's where we take it roughly back to about 9 o'clock. And as we go through these reps, we'll gradually increase the speed. So trying to get up again to full speed as we get through there. And then the last one is one of my favorites. So this is called step and swing. Obviously, you can see that by what you're seeing on screen. So we're gonna step and create that separation between upper and lower and then really whip it through. This is my favorite drill because it kind of works on everything. And then once we wrap this up, we'll get right into the test. All right, we're warmed up. So I wanna take you guys through what a Mach3 speed test typically looks like. I did all my warm-up. That changes for a lot of people. So some people like to do a super quick warm-up and try to get right into this. Some people will sort of work up through their bag hitting irons just to kind of get their swing primed. But my theory on this is that by doing all those drills, all that warm-up, I'm ready to hit driver right now. So this is how our speed tests go. So I'm gonna set up, I have this on warm-up mode still. I don't care really about any of these balls. It's just to get a baseline for where I'm starting at. So I'm gonna hit 5 drivers, just again, getting warmed up, getting my baseline. And then from there, I'll switch this to more of a numbers and data mode, and then we'll start our speed test. So 5 warm-up balls, we'll switch to the numbers that we care about. Club head speed, ball speed essentially is all we really care about for these tests. So from there, I'm gonna hit 5 balls. That's gonna be our kind of official starting point. After that first set of 5, I'm gonna do some drills with my jet stick to try and ramp up that speed. Sometimes I'll change up those drills based on what I feel like I need for that session. Maybe sometimes I'm not doing something correct, like on the way back, taking it back fast enough. Sometimes I feel like I'm not generating enough speed on the way through. So just depends on the day, and sometimes I'll even change the drill between sets. So 5 balls, jet stick drills, we'll hit 5 more balls. measure, did we get faster, did we not? We'll take another set of jet stick drills, and then we'll hit our last 5. So we're hitting 15 balls total. What we're going to measure is average speed across all of those for each set. So maybe average 112 club head speed, then 114, then 115, and then we'll measure average ball speed. And then we're also going to take the kind of, lowest end range and highest end range and measure those against each other. So I'm gonna go through this test. I'll try to talk through it a little bit as I'm going. I'll try to put up some of the numbers at the end. I don't feel great. I know I'm not gonna be fast. And I think what is really important to note about speed training is, we all love to see these guys hitting at 190, 200 ball speed, but for somebody who is 40 years old, I haven't been working out as much as I'd like to the past week and a half, 2 weeks. I've been feeling sick. I'm not gonna be fast, but the importance of doing this speed training, especially for somebody at my age, is really to fight against losing speed just as much as it is to potentially gain speed. So just to do speed training doesn't mean you have to be fast. You don't need to be embarrassed if you're not, at a certain speed that you think you should be. Just keep working. I promise it's gonna benefit your game score-wise. You're gonna feel better physically as a result of doing this. So let's get into this speed test, and I will kind of walk through it as I go. I'm gonna set this up. It's been probably at this point 3, 4, 5 minutes since I ended my warm up. So I'm gonna use these 5 balls to get back into it. Again, I haven't hit a ball yet. I have no idea what contact is gonna feel like. These are just sort of like a calibration. So now we are going to get into our first set of real 5 balls. So I'm going to switch this to more of a data mode. Driver. I don't care about carry. I don't care about total. So carry and total would be fun to see. It got a little bit darker in here. But these are really the only 2 numbers I care about. One thing I am going to mention, I have this PRGR monitor here behind my ball because I feel like this is more accurate with club head speed. I've actually heard with the indoor kind of overhead TrackMan, it can represent club head speed a few miles an hour lower than it really is. Ball speed should be pretty accurate, so I'm gonna kind of take club head speed off of this, ball speed off of here, but I'm also interested to see how these 2 match up, so that's why I have this behind the ball for my club head speed. All right, so now we're gonna hit our first 5 balls and just see what we have. And so that's something else that happens is sometimes club head speed for whatever reason doesn't even register. Right here we have 114. That feels right to me for 170 ball speed. Basically 169 ball speed. We got 113 on the club. Felt pretty good. 171 ball, 114 club. This is pretty good for a first set after not feeling very well. We got 2 more. Hit that one off the heel a little bit. 113 club head speed. See if we can get 115. Hit it off the bottom a little bit again. So this is actually, that number right now seems to match up well with this. So almost 115 there, 114 down here. So I'm going to keep this glove on. It's about to be switched out. So now we have our first 5 balls, averaging 113, 114 club head speed, around 170 ball speed, maybe 169. So I'm gonna do 1 set of 6 to 8 reps with this. Then I'm gonna take about a 1-minute break, and then we'll get back to our second set, see if we can increase both of these speeds. So the drill that I like to do, at least for today, is I feel like I'm a little bit slower out front. So I'm going to do this step and swing drill. Again, about 6 reps. We wanna make sure we stay fast. So we have got that drill. Feel pretty good and loose. I'm gonna switch this glove out. I'm going to clean my grip. I'm just gonna let myself come down from that a little bit, and then we're going to hit our second set. So you wanna give yourself a little bit of rest, but not too long that you start to get kind of like, start to tighten up. Just enough to catch your breath, still feel strong, fast. And I'm gonna get right back into my second set now. All right, let's go. We need speed out in front. We're not worried about direction. There's no need to hold on to this. Just let it fly. All right, I like that one. Okay, so here's where we have a difference. I have 116 club head speed there, 113.7 here, which seems to be about right from what I've heard online. Ball speed seems appropriate. I still feel like I'm sort of kind of like putting the governor on a little bit coming through, so I really need to just let it rip and let it eat on the way through. There we go. There we go. That's what we like to see. All right, numbers are matching up between the two monitors there. Got 3 more. Not mad at that. Got 116 club again down here. All right, 2 more. All right, come on. So that's where we got 110, 111 there, 116 here. So I got to get that figured out and figure out which one is truly best, but there's no way that was only 111. All right, let's see if we can get 173 ball speed to end this set. That's all right. Again, I'm not feeling well still. I haven't been working out a ton. We got 117 club there. That's a good set. I'm happy with that. So again, I'm gonna keep this glove on to go through my second set of jet stick drills. Then we're gonna come back and do our final set. I'll crunch some numbers, put them up on the screen, and then talk about what this looks like sort of going forward as we get closer to the season. Before I do these drills, I think I don't want to limit myself to any number, but seeing these, if I could get a ball to go 175 miles an hour today, that'd be a huge win for me, especially coming off not feeling great. I haven't been working out as much as I want to, and I'll talk more about that coming up over the next couple weeks. But if I could get 175, get club head speed somewhere around 120, that's a huge win for today, and I'd be really happy with that. So let's get into this last set of 6 or so jet stick swings. I'm gonna stick with that same drill because it seemed to work the first time, and really just let it fly. What I'm trying to avoid here is dragging my hands here. What I wanna do is get here, slam on the brakes, and then let these hands fly and my arms fold and really create a whip instead of trying to drag with my upper body. So that's what's going on in my noggin as I go through these. All right, switch out the glove, clean the grip. We're gonna use a nice one for this. More of a fresh glove than the others. Still not new, but newer than some of the others. This one I really need to get into a good mental state. I can't hang on to anything through impact. Don't care at all about where these are going. You can feel when you hook one or when you block it or whatever, but all we care about is top speed right now. 20, 30 more seconds. So this is something I should be doing at least once a week, probably twice, just to keep it fresh in my mind. It keeps me moving, keeps me chasing that goal. I'm always going to be working on my swing technique with my irons and things, so this is something I definitely want to keep focusing on, probably all the way throughout the season. You just reduce the volume a little bit. So I'm done yapping. I'm going to try to go as hard as I can on these last 5. Fast back, fast through, speed out in front. Don't need to hang on to anything. Let's go. All right, there we go. Come on. Bring some intensity. 173. All right, come on. .118 club down here. That one felt fast. All right, come on. We got 175 in the tank. 3 more shots, let's go. Ah, damn. I hit that one way off the toe. Transition was a little quick. 2 more, let's go. All right, come on. All right, I'm happy with that. Last one. Everything we got, see if we can get it up to 74 plus. Efficient, speed out front. Don't hang on to anything. Let's go, Jeff. Oh, no, all right. I'm not finishing on that one. Sorry, guys. Hit it way off the heel. Speed was up, club head speed, but I'm not finishing on that bad of a miss hit. My hands are so sweaty. Still clammy from not feeling good, but 1 more out of the middle and then I'm done. All right, that's fine. I hit that good. Again, I'm not feeling great. I didn't really even expect to get this fast today, so that's how a speed session goes. Essentially, 15 to 20 balls in total, 20 if you count the warm-up. Again, my plan is to try and do this a couple times a week. I'm not gonna film every single one and post every one, but again, top speed, ball speed today I think was 173.5. Top club head speed was 118, so that's what I'm gonna use for my baseline. Please let me know if you guys have any questions on this. I cannot recommend these Mach3 tools enough. I've been using them for over 2 years now. I'm certainly not at the moment, but overall in my game, I'm faster and longer than I've ever been. My handicap is the lowest it's ever been. There's no coincidence there. Those two are certainly directly correlated. I've obviously improved other things in my game as well. When I moved back from Charleston to Cincinnati, I started playing with guys that I used to play with in high school and college. They were like, "What in the hell did you do, Jeff? How are you hitting it so far?" And this is why. You don't have to do this. This is what I do. You can use super speed, you can use stack, you can use ripstick. It truly doesn't matter what you use as long as you put in the work. The reason I love Mach3 versus some of these other programs is because we're not just doing overspeed training with basically one tool with different weights. There are very different purposes for some of the tools. You know, the iron whip does a few different things. The speed bomber does a few things, which I don't have here today. We have the jet stick, and there are many others that these guys have to develop strength in different movement patterns, to develop speed, to develop sequencing. Some of those other tools, yes, can do that, but although, you know, Mike and his team do things a little bit differently than some of these other organizations and companies, I always love it, and so that's what I use, that's what I recommend. Hope you guys like this video, and we'll see you next time.